video is going to be a little bit of a montage. We have Eleanor. She decided to join. And Brawley, who you can hear but not see right now. And we're going to hope that neither one of them knock the camera down. Oh, here's Brawley. Alright, so first we're going to talk about my recent reads. This video is going to be definitely a combination because I didn't film recent reads for like 8 books, and then I never filmed my best books of 2021, so we're just going to knock them all out right here with the girls that you can hardly see. Brawley's here, you just can't see her anymore. Nope, she's not even in the background. So the first thing we're going to talk about is my recent reads, and I guess I'll fill in the blanks for the best books of 2021, worst books of 2021 in the middle, and we're going to see how it goes. Ignore the buzzing of the heater, and so we're just going to go from there. So the first book that I have read since you last saw me is I'm looking at my Goodreads, Poor Unfortunate Soul, and it's the Disney Villains #3 by Serena Valentino. I'll insert a picture somewhere because, you know, you can't have a stack of books and the dogs in your video. So, you know, beggars can't be choosers. So that's what we're going to do here. It's been a little bit since I actually read this one, but I do remember enjoying it. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. It was pretty, you know, middle of the road. It wasn't mind-blowing or anything. You do not have to read these in order, to my knowledge. Ignore the dogs making a ruckus. And then the next one that I read, I do have to insert a picture because in the move, I lost the dust jacket because it wasn't on the book, and I didn't think to just put it on the book when I was moving. I don't know why, because apparently I'm dumb. This one took me a while to get through. I felt like it drug on and on. It honestly could have been a short story. Like, it didn't have to be this long. It didn't even have to be a full novel. It could have been a novella. I really just, I read it, like, I wanted to know what happened, but I honestly, like, didn't really care about the characters. I honestly felt like, if you've read this, like, you're kind of gonna understand. I felt like, what was her name? What was the main character's name? Emmy. She was shallow as hell, which I know was the point, but she was really shallow. She was doing her only friend dirty the whole time, in my opinion. And I feel like her only, like, actual friend should have been, like, the savior of the story, really, but she wasn't. I felt like her husband was a bit of an asshole. I'm not gonna lie. And I didn't really care about him. You didn't even learn anything about the kids, even though there's a child on the cover of the book. And I wasn't a fan, really. I wanted to just know how it ended, but that was pretty much it. I gave it 2.5 stars. You know, I did bump it up because it did give me the feeling of wanting to know what happened, but ultimately, like, I didn't really like any of the characters. It was, yeah, the story just drug on, and I'm gonna be honest, the ending was kind of stupid, so 2.5 for that one. I got a dog hair on my phone, wouldn't know how that happened. And then the next one I read was The Miserable Meal by Lemony Snicket. It's the 4th book in a series of unfortunate events. I've been listening to these on audio through my library, but apparently they are very popular because there is an incredibly long wait list for every single book. It takes absolutely forever. And this is kind of weird, but I usually listen to them while I'm in the shower. Or, you know, when I use a bath bomb and I'm in the tub. So, that's pretty much how I use those. My video cut off because I got a phone call. I don't know where I was at. But, The Miserable Meal, this was, not as fun as I thought it would be. I honestly thought it was a little bit violent for a, children's book. But I guess the point of the story was for it to be a little bit scary because it is unfortunate, but I just thought it was not as good as the other ones. Honestly, it didn't keep my attention. It took me like 3 rounds of waiting at the library for me to finally finish the audiobook because I just kept putting off listening to it. So far it hasn't been my favorite. of the series. I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars, which wasn't like because I hated it. It just wasn't my favorite, so my enjoyment was not up there, because most of the time, like, my enjoyment level is what the rating is. I don't really care about how the writing is. And then the next book that I read is the Austere Academy. Is that how you pronounce that? The Austere? You know what? It's going to be today. The Austere Academy, which is the 5th book in the series of unfortunate events by Lemony Snicket. And I did enjoy this one quite a bit more than the mill one, but, you know, again, it's just a middle grade, so it doesn't really blow my mind. So I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, and I did enjoy it quite a bit more than the last one, which was the mill. And it just, you know, it followed them going to a school and again, thinking that their life was together, and it's not. And I did enjoy the new characters that they met in this book. I'm currently working on the 6th book. I think I'm waiting. I started it, and then, like, I got distracted, so it went back to the library, so I have to wait to be able to finish it. So that was on me. And then the next book that I read, which I actually read this one not that long ago. I was in a little bit of a reading slump for part of 2021. We don't have to talk about it. So, the next book that I read was one of my absolute favorites this year, which was Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've completely not even talked about my favorite book, so we're just going to save that to the end, because apparently I don't know what I'm doing. Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I don't know why nobody told me to read this sooner. I don't know why I didn't read it last year when I got it for my birthday, like, immediately. I apparently thought it was about something completely different than what it was, so maybe that's why I enjoyed it so much. But I loved that, in case you didn't know, the book was written as a series of interviews. I honestly loved every single character, even the ones that you weren't supposed to like, because I can't even remember all the characters' names, or the one that I'm thinking of, but there was this one guy who always made some, like, asshole-ass comments towards Billy, the lead singer of the Six, and I'm not gonna lie, like, dude had some valid points. Like, he was always talking about whatever he was feeling, and he was just like, yeah, nah, that ain't it, bro. And Daisy, I really liked her. The description of Daisy, in my mind, was like this whimsical, blonde-headed, blue-eyed girl that just, like, doesn't really give a shit. So I really liked Daisy, and I know that's the entire point, but, like, in my head, that's what it was. And it just made the story so much better. Welcome back, Eleanor. So I don't know where I was talking about Daisy Jones and the Six. So I know the whole point of Daisy Jones is to be the 1970s, like, babe that everybody imagines. So, I guess that was why I had that image in my head. But, I really loved this. I flew through it. Like, I couldn't put it down. There was a moment when I started it, and I, like, set it down for almost a month, but I picked it right back up, and I felt like I had not missed anything. It was pretty early in the story, too, but, like, once I picked it back up, I zoomed. Hey, I didn't need a kiss, thank you. I zoomed through it, and I was up till, like, 3 a.m. one night finishing it. I tabbed quite a few pages, so whoever reads it after me is definitely going to know, which is going to be my mom, so she's going to have fun with that. And, hey, I didn't want to kiss, thank you. So, that was, Daisy Jones and the Six that I had so much trouble getting through because I kept getting interrupted. Thanks, Brawley. And the final book that I read in Do you mind? What are you doing? The final book that I read in 2021 is The Hunting Wives by Cobb, and I have actually already unhauled this, so I can't show you a picture of it, but I thought this book was dumb. I started it in physical form because I got it from Book of the Month, and then I ended up swapping to the audiobook thinking, oh, maybe the audiobook's better. The audiobook was quite a bit better to read from, because I think if I'd been reading this physically, I would have DNF'd this, like, maybe 30% in, because this book was just full of, like, goofy shit to me. And it was like things that you would think I would love in a thriller, and I thought I would love in a thriller, and no, like it was so dumb. Sophie was a creepy stalker. You know, she'd moved to this new town. She was a stalker, in my opinion, of Margot Banks. So Sophie, I wasn't a fan, and it just felt like she was that girl that just wanted to fit into a clique, but she was very picky about which clique she wanted to be in, and I couldn't deal with that. She just like purposely went out of her way to lie to her husband. She just found reasons to lie to her husband for absolutely no reason. It was things that she shouldn't have even lied to her husband about and didn't even have to. And then the things that she should have more or less lied to her husband about, she also lied to her husband about. So it was just a stack of lies that she was sending her husband, basically, or like giving to her husband. She had a whole child. Let's discuss that. She had a whole child and just left her child with her husband like all the time to take care of. And I mean, that's fine if you want to leave your child with your husband, but like I don't know how you do that. Like, I saw the child maybe 10% of the book, to be honest. And it was so much unnecessary drinking. Every time she went somewhere with this group of women, she was drinking. There was like definitely some inappropriate romances going on with some teenagers. I felt that the whole thing was kind of stupid, and like it was such a train wreck that I couldn't look away. So that's honestly how it ended up with 1 star. So train wreckery was 1 star, and then the ending kind of redeemed it a little bit, and so that bumped it to 2 stars for me. But honestly, like, I thought this book was dumb. Like, I wish I could have sent it back to book of the month, because it was honestly kind of a waste of my time, but it was definitely a train wreck that I couldn't look away from. So, editing me here, I realized that I left a book out of my recent reads, which is Take Me With You by Andrea Gibson. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I gave that book 4 out of 5 stars. It was a little poetry collection. I think I finished it in like 1 sitting. I really liked it. It was pretty small, pretty short, so it wasn't, and it's just a poetry collection, so it's nothing too crazy. I just really enjoyed the poems. They were a lot of Instagram style poems. The illustrations were really cute. And now that I have forgotten to do half of what I came here to do, I'll insert the half here of me I'm still gonna talk about it, but like, I'm gonna include here me talking about the best and worst books of 2021. So in total, I read 11 books this year, which I don't think was terrible. I wish it had been 12, so it would have been more equal to at least 1 a month, but we didn't get that. So I chose 4, and the worst books of 2021 for me were The Chain, and if you missed my discussion of The Chain, it is the last recent reads video I posted, I think, or the one before that, but I think it's in the last one that I posted. The Chain was a waste of my time as well. The Chain was stupid. The Chain was also a train wreck I couldn't look away from. But honestly, at one point, like, I didn't even care how it ended. I was just so far into the book that I needed to know how it ended, and the plot was good. Like, something got lost in translation, because the first section of the book was good. Like, the first portion, where it's like part 1 or whatever it is, it was good. And I had to switch over to the audio on that one too, because I was fixing to DNF it. I should have. It was a complete waste of my time. It was honestly really dumb. The ending was stupid. It was the dumbest thing I've ever read. But the plot had it. The plot was there. Like, that sounded so interesting. But, I mean, it just missed its mark. It was not it. And then the other worst book of 2021 was The Hunting Wives, which we just discussed, that I did not like. And yeah, so that's the 2 worst books of 2021. And the best books of 2021, I'm gonna start with the second one, is the Disreputable History of Frankie Lando Banks by Lockhart. I read this early in 2021, but I had a great time. It's in, I think, also my last recent reads, and I had a great time with it. I flew through it. It was fun. It was funny. It was a young adult novel, and it honestly, like, it was also a feminism-ish novel. It definitely, like, had some feminist moments, and I was cheering for Frankie the whole time. I felt like some things that she did were kind of out of spite, but I'm gonna be honest, that was the whole book. Like, that was the point of the book, was that it was out of spite. So, and then, as we just discussed, I'm just gonna go right into the next one. As we just discussed, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. My number one, like, all-time, like, it's actually, like, in my all-time favorites now. It was the best book of 2021 that I read, hands down. And, what was it that Emma did with the tier ranking? Like, hoes hate me because I'm the it girl. That was this book. That was it. Like, hoes hate her because she's the it girl. Like, that book is it. Like, it's just, go read it. Like, I'm gonna tell everybody to go read it. My mom's reading it, or supposed to be reading it right now. I don't think she started it yet. But she's got it, and it's in her hands now. And she's gonna have fun with my little sticky notes and my highlights and my everything in there. So, since that's the note that we're ending on a positive note, I will see you guys again with, ignore the heater in the background, with another video. Hopefully it won't be a mess, but at this point I think that's just